Peter Bradley Adams would never shoot. That's a singer songwriter. He's really talented. He's a good friend of mine as well. If you feel like it's going to hear him, just play music.
Back in the day, city employees would take any
Okay.
excuse to
Very much. That's why I said if you want, I'll buy you.
very simple how bad
You want to go see Terry Melton?
No.
yeah, no.
My treat. I know. That's what I said solo next time. I noted it was solo. I knew neither of you. I knew neither of you want to go see The Garden. I don't know if she's ever paid attention to them. Let's be honest. The one time I saw The Garden with Bush Train, there's nothing to write home about it. It was really annoying. But I'm giving the boys one more chance. Plus, I like the Knitting Factory. I have a whole train of God at 29 and up because it was one of their fans that posted my the back of my film camera. Oh, so you're going to check before I buy tickets? Yeah, the Butch Rouse should be good.
If you want some.
If I can get a pass. I hear that you shoot in DC. So, not even the, Black Cat. And I hear the Black Cat has two venues now, like smaller and bigger. And Delaney said with the bigger, sometimes they get put into that campus. Yeah, so it just very depends on the band. I'm so glad I'm not shooting in DC. Where would I end up shooting? No, I mean, it just sounds like the 9:30 Club to me. Black Cat. 9:30 Club? The old 9:30 Club. Back, I think it's much bigger venue. The one time I saw you years and years ago, and I actually had a photo pass, and actually didn't shoot Interpol. Sean Gilbert were friends of mine, and then I was trying to remind myself so badly of Rick Canister, and I could have just exposed them all, and put it in another room, and shot the next band, and everything was Interpol. But I didn't, I just threw my camera in my bag, and then found out that I had a passport. That was my last day. I had to go for lunch.
Yeah, that was kind of a thing.
You know what I mean?
Almost always.
I actually don't. Like I said, once I called the watch, I was like, Thank God. Under a table. But if they don't have a thing on the stage, they can actually get. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
But it makes total sense.
Everyone had different camera parts. Well, you know what? When I went to Sigma, I had Sylvia walking up my camera, and then I was so shocked to use it. She like, after taking some good pictures, I'm like, I'm too embarrassed. She's like, well, I'm not going to share the place. This place is packed.
I have
I was like, just pull out your camera. And at the end I did, and I took some pictures, and I realized that I had more. Because like, once you're in, oh yeah.
I was like, every single guy, like,
I use it all.
what happened?
You just bingo all the time.
I'll fund yours.
I don't.
I feel like I would. You read the book? Oh my God. There it is. I think
I was like, I never thought it was your.
maybe it was like, maybe that's what I don't think I remember it's already. I fancied myself like
One is too close to the edge of the
getting
wall, and the other one is
like
too
not
far
very
away.
good. But I was helping out my friend who started to run something, had something immediately on it, and I was helping him out.
Yeah, that's what I
That's
mean.
how I got the first job. I did help with the band. Gave some in. So I felt
I'm really something to it.
I think
Should I communicate? Yeah. She's like, yeah. I'm like, she goes, you know, short for sugar. And I said, somebody called that man sugar. She just laughing. I never forgot that. This is scary. I did not see sugar. And the book, he does not come out. You ever read it? Like, well, there's a strange thing. Yeah. It's my surprise. They lost their shoe. Yeah, so you should totally read that.
grandmas and grandpas.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I had a 92-year-old use the computer.
Yeah.
Like you used to just have to have a keyboard. She's like now it's like you don't major tech company.
Isn't it a funny dog? I opened it first. She's not sweet. I mean, she is to me. But
You can't just come out and
she has a bonus or whatever. She really likes her. Never barks at her. Come here around. Sweet dog. She doesn't really when you walk her around. Because she is very territorial. She's very snarly. She's very gonna like take a little bit or something.
Not even that. Yeah, yes, that. Not even like that. You could just kind of like squint your eyes.
But I was trying to figure out where it worked. My desk faces the window.
Yeah.
And I open it, so we're good. I mean, I get a touch sheet, but I'm fine. So I thought I would load the last bit in Bridge last night, and I just put it to download. I went to bed, and I woke up at 4%, and I realized when it's on battery, my computer, it puts itself to sleep. If I'm not using it, but it also stops downloading. If it's plugged in, I think it puts itself to sleep. One is to save the battery. And the other one, because when it's plugged in, it will do the regular check. I mean, I just did Photoshop, Lightroom, and I thought it said great to see the way you organize stuff. So if it's something like that, with my internet speed, we're but the thing is, the crazy bit is last night, like, at a certain point, my internet got super fast when I think
Where was it?
so I think the unlimited, unlimited $39.99 is unlimited bandwidth. Yeah. No, I don't mind the, yours is unlimited too. Yeah, I mean, I think they must, I think they're bandwidth on it. But I don't think you have a plan for that. I think I have like the second most expensive plan. So if I'm working like the county, I guess I'm transfer the file. And that's for that one, I have right. Well, I noticed that I think they did it. My dog is pretty. Yeah. Honestly, if I found out more stuff on yesterday, if I would have found it down.
Yeah, but did you go to high school in Sioux?
Yeah.
My daughter's excited.
Oh, yeah.
And my son was there.
Maybe like 90. He's more than
Oh, yeah. Where is this, my daughter? Dead set on bars.
Because they want me to stay there.
Yeah.
Seriously.
So my daughter, she didn't even.
So I actually went on their site and I played. They're old. And it's been like, and actually, so it's really important to know or whatever. I think she follows them. So they may be friends of hers. And the lead singer.
She moved 6, 7 hours.
So I was like, and I don't think, I don't know if it applies to him, but I figured, I don't think it costs much to eat, it might be like the whole one.
Where'd you study? Is that where you just then have to do school?
I had to, well, I can't.
Go ahead.
Yeah. But there is a guy who posts these hilarious videos. I like seeing these. But he writes.
So good evening, everybody. Welcome to McNally Jackson. Thank you for coming out before the blizzard. Tonight we are excited. I am excited. We are celebrating the 20th anniversary of Please Kill Me. We have the original authors, Lex McNeil and Julian McCain here. They are friends of mine. They are wonderful people. I remember a world before this book came out, and some of you don't, when most of these stories were rumors. The book is very helpful. It's a history of the development of punk rock in New York City, starting with its kind of early influences in the theater, glam rock, all the way through all the sex, drugs, and rock and roll in the 70s. We are very happy to have them here. Please make our guests feel welcome. Thanks, Jillian. Oh, I didn't. Sorry, let me tell you one more thing. We are raising money at the bookstore. We are taking not a cut of it to help people who are in the process of being deported or their families. You can reach the fund on our website. It's a nonprofit, so if anybody's interested in contributing, please do. Thanks, Jolene.
Yeah, sure.
Dustin Pittman in the house?
Yes. Hi, thanks for coming. I hope you don't mind. We're not going to read from Please Kill Me. Hi, how are you? We're not going to read from our book. We're going to read from our new one that we've been working on for 10 years. It's called 69, I think I heard of oral history. And tonight it's the story of the California music scene going into Manson. Because you can't really tell the story of Charlie Manson without putting him in the context of the music scene. So tonight we're going to read kind of a fun part for a really dark story, which is the Dennis Wilson part. And we kind of made it a little shorter.
Dennis Wilson of the Beach Boys.
Dennis Wilson of the Beach Boys. Hello. Can I get you a cup of coffee right here?
Tea is good.
Tea?
Tea.
What kind?
Any.
Oh, okay.
Tea's
Can we get a tea here? Hey, Jim. So we're going to read the Dennis Wilson part, and we did one of these chapters in Please Kill Me, the Penny Arcade chapter, where we let her go for a whole chapter because it was so great, you know, on the Patti Smith part. And this is one of those chapters where it's just one person. It's this guy Stan Shapiro, and his father worked for William Morris, which was the big talent agency, and his job for how much was it?
$126 a week. No, $67
$67 a week. He had to call Dennis Wilson on the phone and say you're spending too much money, because Dennis Wilson pissed through all his money and his cars and everything else. Does this excite anyone?
Yeah.
Okay. So we thought, we'll go back and read Please Kill Me later. We're a little bored with it after 20 fucking years, okay?
Okay, so he makes shit money. He works at William Morris. He has to call Dennis Wilson every day and whine about, you're spending too much money. Dennis just says fuck you and hangs up. But so
on this day, when Stan Shapiro went out for lunch, Dennis Wilson was coming to William Morris and tried to run him over in his Ferrari, because you know how big the streets are in LA and you can't really cross. And so this takes place after Stan leaves his job at William Morris. Good lipstick. And and gets in his cab and goes to drive his cab for the night. So we're going to start with, and the name of this chapter is called God, I Hate This Fucking Guy. And if you, this is the first time I think this is the first time we've ever read from our new book in public. So you're in for a treat, even if you didn't get a T. But I would complain.
It's a work in progress.
It's a work in progress, yes.
Just start.
Oh, shut up. Stan Shapiro. Wrong page. Okay. Stan Shapiro. The day goes by after my run-in with Dennis Wilson, and at 3:30 I leave William Morris and go to the cab company so I can drive a cab all night. So I'm driving, and about 1 in the morning the dispatcher says, "Does anybody want to pick up a fare that's on the top of Lookout Mountain Drive?" Well, that was not a popular spot, Lookout Mountain Drive. It was pretty remote. It's up in the dark, and every cab driver was afraid he'd get his throat cut for $5. So nobody went up there. No cabbie wanted it. But I thought, why not? I'll take the fare. And all the other cabbies on the radio were saying, "Ha ha, that'll be your last ride." I was actually hoping they were right, because after the day I'd had enough. So I head up to Lookout Mountain, and at the very end is a big cul-de-sac. And I see this guy sitting on the corner with a pregnant girl, about 17 or 18 years old, sobbing away. And this guy was consoling her. And when the cab lights hit him, I see it's Dennis Wilson, the same jerk who made my day miserable. And I'm thinking to myself, God, I hate this guy. I'm going to punish him. So I turned on the meter while he's talking to the girl. 5 or 10 minutes go by, and he finally walks the pregnant girl across the street, gives her a bunch of money, says goodbye, and then turns around, comes back, and gets in the back of the cab. And I turn around and I said, "Well, Dennis, where do you want to go?" Dennis goes, "Oh shit, you drive a cab too?" I said, "You know, Dennis, some of us actually have to work for a living. We all can't run over people with high-powered sports cars in Beverly Hills and then break little girls' hearts on street corners. Some of us actually have real jobs." I started in on him because I was upset, right? And he goes, "Save it. I don't want to hear it because I've had a really hard day." And that really ticked me off. I literally said to him, "How did you have a hard day? I already know how much money you blow every week, so you're not going anywhere because you're going to hear my story, no matter how crappy it is. And if you want to walk back, I'll make sure every cab driver never sends anybody to come and get you."
Dennis didn't say anything, so I told him that what a crummy life I had. He listened for a while and then said to me, "Look, man, I'm really sorry. I know sometimes I don't think about how other people have it. I just know how it is for me." I said to him, "Dennis, with all the cars that you've got," because I knew from the list of William Morris that he had about 16 cars, "why are you taking a cab?" He says, "When I left your office, I drove my Ferrari underneath a semi and it got crushed." I said, "No big deal. I'm sure you have insurance to cover it, right?" Dennis says, "No, I just got it." I said, "Well, then why don't you just go home and get one of those 16 cars that you have and keep going?" He goes, "I don't have any cars. I've given them all away." I said, "Are you kidding me? Why do I call you on the phone every day?" He goes, "I don't know." I said, "Dennis, do you know how much money I make?" He goes, "No." I said, "With 2 jobs, working all the time, I make $125 a week, and I barely get by. How much do you make, Dennis?" He said, "I have an allowance of $12,000, $500 a week." I said, "Are you fucking kidding me? Do you even have a concept of how much money that is? You're making more money than I can make in 2 years." He goes, "Whatever it is, it's not enough." He was fairly arrogant, you know. But he says to me, "There must be some way that I can make this up to you." I said, "To be perfectly honest, Dennis, I was really hoping that you would kill me. Because I can't take this job anymore. I hate my life. I just hate it." So Dennis says, "I'll tell you what, I've got an idea. How about you get in the back of the cab, and I'll take you wherever you want to go." Thinking, yeah, okay. That's how dumb I was, right? Here's a guy that had just driven his car under a semi and had it crushed, and now he wants to drive my cab. But we trade places. He gets in the front and puts on the dumb yellow cab hat, and then turns around and says, "So where would you like to go?" I said to him, "Actually, I haven't had anything to eat since lunchtime. when you tried to run me over, you know? He says, don't say another word. I know just where to go. You just sit back and relax. Dennis floors it out of the cul-de-sac on 2 wheels going around this curve, and then he shoots down the hill in the pitch dark, right? I'm being thrown from one side of the cab to the other. Sometimes I'm on the floor looking up, and I'm thinking, now I'm going to get killed. We get halfway down the hill, and the dispatcher's on the radio. So Dennis feels around for the mic, then picks it up and goes, breaker, breaker. The dispatcher said, who's this? Dennis says, who's this? Dennis says, the dispatcher says, you know you can lose your radio license for this. Dennis says, radio license? I don't even have a fucking driver's license. I'm going, oh Jesus, I'm dead for sure. So I whispered, don't tell him anything, because I'm going to lose this job too, and I don't have anything else.
So Dennis signs off and then heads down to a hot dog stand that never closes. It's always open, it's always lit up. It's one of those places where there's a line of 100 people in front of it, and they're always there, right? So he pulls up in front of where the cab stand is and says, wait here, I'll be right back. Then he gets out of the cab, throws the cab driver's hat on the seat, and he heads off back to the back of the hot dog stand. All these people were in line, but not Dennis. He goes around to the back, and after a few minutes, he returns with a Coke bottle stashed in each back pocket and a bunch of hot dogs, and says, let's sit on the hood of the cab. I get out, we sit on the hood of the cab, and we weren't even there for 2 minutes before every single girl in that line, there must have been 50 of them, spotted Dennis and surrounded the cab. They literally stampeded the guy. And they wanted to know everything about Dennis. Where do you go? Where do you live? What do you like to do? What do you do this and what do you do that? I was just amazed, you know. I'd never seen anything like this, ever. I had no idea what a huge star he was. But Dennis was answering all their questions. And then these 2 really cute girls caught his eyes. 2 red-headed twins, tall and slender, probably only 18 years old. So he says to them, do you want to go with me to my boat at the marina? And of course they said, oh yeah! So Dennis says to me, take me down to the marina. The 3 of them get in the back, and there was this back road, Jefferson Boulevard, which went down to the marina, but it wasn't very developed. It was property that was owned by the Howard Hughes Corporation for airplanes. It was pretty vacant. So I'm heading down the back road, and I look in the rearview mirror, and all 3 of them are totally naked in the back seat. I'm like, holy cow. I'd never seen anything like this in my whole life. Literally, I nearly crashed the car, gawking in the rearview mirror, while Dennis was yelling, watch the road! But how are you going to do that, right? Well, we got to the marina, and the girls put their clothes back on, and then Dennis escorts the twins down to his boat, this enormous 65-foot powerboat, and says, I'll be right back. He comes back 10 minutes later and gives me a $50 bill and says, can you pick me up tomorrow? I said to him, I don't know. They don't do it that way. You actually have to call a cab company and tell them you want to request me. So he goes, okay. I figured I'd never hear from him again. And I'm certainly not going to tell the agency that he doesn't have any cars, right? He has no cars and no money. He spends everything. I mean, this guy was something else. But the next day, when I get to the cab company, there's a message to go pick up Dennis Wilson. And I go and get him. And it's the same every day. It was just chauffeuring him from one girl's house to another. Just girls, all of the day and all the night. Thank you. Thank you. Do you want to talk for a little bit? Does anyone have any questions about Please Kill Me? Does anyone remember the 70s? Old enough?
What year was this when this happened?
Yeah.
This is in the 60s. This is probably 1965 to 1966, Los Angeles, California.
And how does the music go to Charles Manson? How is it all?
Well, you have to read the fucking book.
Yeah.
Stupid.
X-ray.
Does anyone want to talk about 70s punk rock in New York City? I was there.
What was the contemporary reaction to the book?
To Please Kill Me?
Yeah.
Well, it was Jillian and I. We did this oral edit at the very, very end of the book. And I had this small studio apartment on St. Mark's Place, And it took us 3 days to read the book out loud, because when you read it out loud, you can really pick up shit that, your eye kind of misses. So we had an assistant, Dawn Manners, and I had a bed in the middle of the studio apartment, and someone would be sleeping, and one would be reading, and the other person would be taking the notes, and then we wrapped it up in twine, and Jillian brought it over to Grove. So we thought we were gonna. So we were fucking exhausted when this book was done, and Jillian kind of had it with me, and she had moved out of her apartment. Anyway, we thought we were going to get some time off, and they said, well, we'll have galley copies in about 6 weeks or so, and it seemed like a week went by, and they sent the book to John Waters, who knew everybody in the book, right, or knew a lot of people in the book. John Waters doesn't usually give quotes, but he started calling everyone in the book and reading them their parts. So my phone, everyone's calling me, Legs, where's my, John Waters has a copy of the book, why don't I have a copy of the book? So it was kind of a mess, and then it just escalated from there. So what was the reaction? I have no idea. Thanks for your question. In the back, yes, sir?
Jillian, for 69,
Yeah.
I've read a bunch of stuff over many years about this period and this scene.
Yeah.
I've never heard of Stan Shapiro. Did you uncover other sources and other people
Yeah.
whose stories hadn't been told?
Well, this guy, we were at a bookstore in Pasadena, and the Manson story came up, and this guy was like, I know this guy used to be an agent at William Morris. He used to hang out with Dennis Wilson. That's how we get all our
That's true,
people.
yeah.
It's just like one thing.
Who's another example of somebody like Stan?
A lot of people. A lot of
Wait,
people.
let's think for a minute.
A lot of people haven't talked in 50 years.
Or never talk.
Or never talked, yeah.
But there's another Stan Shapiro type. Oh, well, Keith Allison. He's not that obscure, though.
Keith Allison, Greg Jacobson. Who's the other Keith Allison type guy?
Billy Hinchy from Billy.
Dino, Desi, and Billy.
Yeah.
But
Well-
wait, there's some more civilians.
No, everyone's kind of music business related. What's great about the book is everybody's hanging out at Dean Martin's house, because Terry Melcher he has this thing called, he's going out with Claudia Martin, and Greg Jacobson's going out with Dina Martin. I mean, Dean Martin had so many kids, and they had some really good looking girls. So, the Byrds were playing Claudia Martin's high school prom,
Yeah, and then Tony Sales, Soupy Sales' son, was going out with Claudia, and then
It's kind of hard.
flirtations with
Yeah,
the
yeah.
stepmother, and
Yeah.
it's sorted.
Flirtations.
It's sorted.
Greg Jacobson fucked Jeannie Martin. It's like kind of hard. Okay, you're going out and you were with her mom, and
So they had this club called the Golden Penetrators Club, which there was hierarchies. If you slept with all three.
No, if you slept with one, you were like a novice, and if you slept with two, you were like
Silver penny.
a bushwhacker, and if you slept with all three of them, you were a golden penetrator.
Yeah.
And they all claim to be golden penetrators, which I kind of believe, given the Martin girls. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. Sure.
How do you stay unapologetic in your life, both of your life, but especially because you're so out there? Personally, like, I would love to be this out there in the next 20 years, so.
What do we either one of us have to apologize for?
How do you stay unapologetic? That's what I mean. How do you stay?
You
don't
mean
have to
not get
apologize.
beaten down?
Yeah.
After no one's killed you.
That's a really good question. I don't know.
Unafraid. How do you stay unafraid? Because what you do is ballsy.
I just think when you get someone, and I think Jillian agrees, when you get somebody and you know you're getting a good story, we just shut up and, turn on the tape recorder and know that it's,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. We've had this, with this book though, had some very creepy situations.
Yeah.
Creepy
Creepy,
characters.
creepy, yeah. Well, it's a creepy story.
Usually over 70 and they're hanging out with their 50-year-old daughter and there's just something wrong with the whole picture.
We had to interview a lot of pedophiles because a lot of this book takes place with acid pedophile. And one of the guys was living with his daughter who he was still having,
We think, it would seem so.
unless he was too old, but he was probably taking Viagra.
It was just really,
That's the one time I lost it, actually.
yeah, you lost
Yeah,
it.
and Jillian picked up I mean, that's what's great about the team of us, because if one of us is, and this was really the first time I lost it, I was so angry at this guy. Not for, I don't know if it was a moral issue with me or not.
He was just so arrogant.
He was so arrogant, he was such a, and he was talking about, fucking 14 and 15-year-old girls, and I think it was also the Xanax I was on too.
Probably.
But Jillian became her sweet self and just picked
We
up.
talked about peyote stitch. It was a beater.
What's that?
It's like a stitch, beating stitch. Remember he had that ugly frog beaded thing? And then I looked up at his face and it looked like the frog. I found him on Megan's list. That's how I found him. You didn't know that?
No.
Days of research.
What the hell is a beat? Is it
Is what?
a beating stitch?
Oh no, it's like just a bead, like you'd recognize. It's just a beading stitch.
For crocheting? Or
Well, for beading, like he was beading tapestries, really ugly, hideous tapestries.
Does anyone know what the fuck that's called?
It's a stitch. It's just a stitch.
A stitch for sewing?
Yeah. So
Well, you
then,
could have said that.
I did. So then,
Did she say it?
Yes.
You with the good lips. Did she say it?
We understood females, I guess.
Oh. Get her the cheese.
So we walk in and Lex goes, "Don't eat anything." So she's making, I made this organic buckwheat cake just for you, so I have to eat it. And then so we do the whole interview, we're saying goodbye, and then we hear this voice from the other room. Mona? We're like, oh my God, there's someone else there. Remember?
Right, that's right.
Lex was like, we have to get out.
The blonde woman with the glasses.
Alright, so I have a question from Please Kill Me, okay?
Sure.
Alright, so, in chapter 36, you have people touch on Nancy Spongeon's death.
Yes.
And, so, did Rocket's Red Glare kill her being?
No, Rocket's Red Glare was full of shit. He borrowed money from Jillian and never paid her back. Fucking asshole. He should have died.
He was nice.
Hey, Bob. How are you? But, no. Actually, Bob's here, and Bob can talk about Nancy, but fuck you, Bob, you're gonna stay over there. Because he came late. But, no, I used to take showers at Nancy. Nancy was on the scene, Nancy was someone you saw every night. She wasn't as bad as people, like the English are such fucking pussies, nauseating Nancy and stuff. But Nancy was not that, she was kind of smart. And I liked her because, she made us scrambled eggs when we went over. We didn't have a shower in the pump dump. So we had to pick up girls and say, hey, can I use your shower? Which was a pretty good line, But Nancy is the only one, because I didn't want any music in the book. If you notice, there's not too much music in the book. It's more about people's lives. And Nancy's the only one that I let just define what punk is, which I thought was kind of cool. I like Nancy, Any other questions? Come on, somebody's got a fucking question.
Can you talk about the punk dome?
The punk dump?
Yeah.
Why?
Interesting.
It was a used auto parts store that's it's not there anymore. It was this kind of standalone little building right on 10th Avenue as you pulled into the entrance to the Lincoln Tunnel, and there used to be transvestites, hooker transvestites, and they do car johns. Do you know what those are? They blow guys because there'd be like really bad traffic sometimes, and they blow the guys in the car, for money, and then they come and.
They've seen Law and Order.
Yeah. No, Law and Order didn't exist yet. This is in the 70s.
No, but they know what you're describing.
Oh, these
Yeah.
people know.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But they would come and knock on our door at like 2 or 3 in the morning, having a fight with their pimp and stuff. We were not very receptive to the transvestite hookers.
So they went to Nancy Spongeon's to take a shower.
Yes. The pump dump was horrible. It was a fucking nightmare. Is that enough? Why would anyone want to know about the pump dump? There was Jed's office. I was supposed to have an office too, but I ended up sleeping on the couch. And I was in there one day. I killed a rat with the layout table stool, a really big rat. And Jed wanted to get its stuff. But I was in there one day, and I was sleeping in the sleeping bag on this couch, and they were fixing the pipes because I guess they were leaking on me or something. And a guy dropped a huge wrench on me while I was sleeping, And I crawled out. I said, "Fuck you!" And the guy jumped back, and it was like, I didn't know anyone was there. It was the 70s in New York were great.
What do you think about the brave new clean New York City?
He doesn't live
I
here
don't
anymore.
live here anymore, so I can't really comment on New York City. I just know it's not my city anymore. It's not my town.
It's not our country.
Yeah, it's not our country, it's not our city.
So, we sign books?
Yeah, has anybody got any more questions? You may not get this again.
Oh, sure.
Did you meet Manson?
No, but we did something very smart early on in case we needed. Charlie has this guy, his name is Grey Wolf. The real name is Greg Hammond. He was dating Star, the girl that supposedly was going to marry Charlie. And he got arrested at the prison. He lays carpet
Don't go in.
during the week.
No, I don't want you to go in.
Okay, Jillian doesn't want to go. Censored by Jillian McKinney. At a reading.
Anybody else?
Anybody else?
Yeah? All right. So, anyway, that was fantastic.
Thanks,
Well,
Bill.
thank you. That was fun. Well, I'm out signing books. I'm gonna go smoke though.
The books are right here. Lex is going to have a quick fag. And then if you'd like a copy of a book, we've also got Jillian's recent Descent of the Dolls, which is a poetic Dantean reimagining of the Valley of the Dolls. Leg's book, The Other Hollywood, The Uncensored Oral History of the Porn Industry. And plenty of copies of Please Kill Me. So if you'd like a copy, just grab it and you can pay for it upstairs. If you guys want to contribute to the fund, it's on the website. Thank you very much.
I'm just gonna go have a quick second. You want to?
No. Get them here and then he'll be back in like 2 minutes.
Andy, come out. I'll talk to you when you come out.
We have it on the shelf. Yeah, I see it every
Yeah. Oh no, for her, for the landlady.
Sounds awesome. Welcome back.
My student has city study time, so they offered him a job to get him to stop. And that was no, it wasn't. It was another
Some drink, huh?
How are you? How are you? Yeah, yeah. Are you buying the book?
Oh, maybe it's a phones.
Yeah.
How's everything? Hey, congratulations, you moved to
It was so great.
I saw it at the IMC.
Right there.
How are you? I missed everything, but I couldn't stop in because I just saw
Right opposite when the same shit.
Tomorrow?
All right.
Love to see
Sounds
you.
great. Next week, let's definitely do it.
Absolutely.
Let you know about Memorial.
Take care. Safe travel. Did they buy a
Hey, Jillian. Yeah, you'll be right here.
I don't buy, but what?
This is Danny Field.
Her father, Laura's father is a judge.
Yeah. Thank you.
I see Al Smith, the house, Jim Marshall.
It's a great bookstore. Yeah. Sorry. Oh, I like the one that.
Really?